many references, right? It's not a native thing that's supported inside AppSheet, but there are ways that you can do it. The method that I am showing inside this sample app is using a secondary join table to connect my other two tables together. All right, so let's do a little background and foundation, right? So there's a couple of, the situation that I'm doing here is I have employees and I have projects, and I'm assigning employees to a project, right? And so the actual assignment, the difference between this join table method versus the select method is that the place where all of the joining information is stored, that in this join table sample app, it lives in the join records. So in my mind, when I'm looking for what is the list of an employee's assigned projects, okay, that list is going to be found in the join table records. When you're doing the select one, the list is found inside the employee record itself, right? All right. So now there are similarities between how we're doing all of this, because if I go and I look at an employee record and I go inside here, I have this drop down of assigned employee projects. This is the very same thing that I have inside the select version as well, right? So what's the difference then? Okay, the difference here is that when I'm using the join table, the storing of the joining information is stored in the records, not in this drop down on the employee's record. Or correspondingly, like the project has a list of its assigned employees. That enum list on the project is not the place where we're storing the information. The only reason that this is here is to make it easier for a user to add many things to the list. Because I can just come here and I can be like, this one, this one, this one, this one. If I didn't have it this way, and instead I was going to make the user go through like the join record form, right? So like I'm looking at the user record, and instead of coming in here and doing it this way, like I come here and I hit the add button, right? Okay, well then that means that I'd have to hit the add button, select number one, I'd have to hit the add button, select number two. You get what I mean? Like there's a lot of involved in that. There's a lot of click, a lot of wasted time. Or I can give my users the ability to just select the employee and then come in here and be like that one, this one. And then when I save, make all of the join records automatically and delete anything that doesn't need to be there. So it's all about that enum list field is only there to provide a better interaction method for my users, right? There's nothing to stop the user from going in, just like I did there for those first two records, where I could just go into the list of the join records and I can just say, I want to do a new one and just do that. There's nothing to stop me from doing that. But it is faster, right? To just come in here and manage the list inside the record. Okay, so the difficulty, the complexity, I guess, right, with this method comes in the form that, like, okay, when I save the form, so I'm looking at an employee and I modified their list of assigned projects. Okay, when I save that form, I need to kick off a loop where I say, all right, for each project that's inside that list, make a corresponding join record, right? And so it'll and make them all. That's how I get all of that done. But then I also need to remove any that have been removed, right? But this is where you get into like things, this is where you can get into the complexity of things. And this is where when you drop into the behavior page and you start looking at all of these actions, that's when you're like, well, there's obviously a lot more going on here. I'm not sure what's happening. Okay. The complexity that you run into when you do things like this. Okay. What happens? Just, you have to think step by step in an order of operation. What happens if I go into an employee's record and I remove one of the assigned projects. Okay. And like, say I had this set up to where when I save anything that was removed, it deletes the join record. The problem you run into there is that, so this is a many to many. There's two sides to that connection, right? So I've got my employee and the project. The project has this employee that I just removed inside its assigned employees list. That's what the join record is doing. It's telling both sides what it needs to do. So if I just delete the join record, how does the system know I need to update this record? I just deleted the piece of data inside the system that would have told the system, this employee, this project. But I deleted that. Right? Okay, so I could just run a mass update on all of the projects and have a formula where it's saying, cool, set the projects enum list to whatever the list of corresponding records are inside of its list, right? I could do that, but that means that I have to update every project in the system. I don't need to do that. If I only removed one project, then I only need to update that one project record. So that's where all of these things come into play. They help provide the mechanisms into the system that when I'm telling the system I want to delete something, like before I delete it, I need to do some stuff first. So that's what all of these actions and everything are for. So just as a high level here, using the join table, using a join table for many-to-many references like this, the method that I have in this app, it makes use of two advanced AppSheet techniques: hot linking and looping. All right, so the looping is, you probably already kind of guessed on what's going on here, right? So let's focus on the employee side of stuff, right? So when I go into the employee and I'm in their form, we have this list of assigned projects, right? Okay, on the form, I have a form save event, right? And so if we go look at the save employee, so when I save, this is what happens. It kicks off first thing it does is it kicks off this loop to make the employee project loop. Okay, so what is this doing? So if we go look at the employee project loop and we look at the make, because that's the one that actually does the thing, you can see what this is doing is it's saying from the employee table, make a project assignment where the employee is this employee and the project is, what is this? So we go and we look, we're saying index for me the list of the employees' assigned projects minus all of the created project assignments. So, okay, this is where we're getting into this list that's taking things away, right? So I have this if I come down here, I have my list of assigned projects. We'll say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And so the idea with this loop is I need to create one record for everything inside this list. So here's the list of stuff that you need to do. And then I've got this secondary list down here that's telling me what are the projects that I've actually created an assignment for, right? Because this related employee project assignments, that is the list of the assignments for this employee. And inside those are the projects that are in the assignment part. So I derivative that out, and I'll show you that here. So the created, go to employees, and we look at the virtual columns. This created project assignments, it's a list dereference where I'm saying from the related employee project assignments, give me a list of all of the projects. And so this is where I get the list of what's been created, what's done, right? And now, remember, we're in a loop right now. We're looping through everything that's inside this employee assigned projects, and we're creating one employee project assignment record for each thing, right? So take this minus this, whatever's left is the thing that we need to do next. Like the first thing in that list is what we need to do. And that's what this is doing. It's taking the assigned projects minus the created projects, and it's indexing out the first thing for that. And that's the project that it's setting. So it does this loop for each project inside the list that you have over there. So if we think about this from the perspective of the first time that we do this, when I first go into the employee's record, that list is empty. Say I add 2 things to the list. When I save, there's 2 things in that list. There are no things inside the assignments yet. So it goes, okay, well, 2 minus 0 is nothing. All right, give me the first thing out of that. So then it makes that first thing. And then it's like, all right, well, we still got something over there. Give me the next thing. And that's like, okay, no, we're done. So that's the loop that happens first. That is just the one side of things. That's making the things that we need to do. After that, then we move into the backwards side of things, because it's like you add and you have to do the remove. You have to do the remove side of stuff. A lot of people don't do the backwards, and the backwards is where the complication comes in, right? So I can't just delete the record like I was saying earlier. I need to first flag the record that I want to delete, do some stuff, then I can delete it. That's where the hot linking side comes into play. So I'm still here inside my save event for my employee. So over here, I'm looking at my employee form and I'm in, right? And so when I save, this event stack kicks off. First thing it does is it does the loop. The second thing it does is it ref set the employee join records temp bar to remove. Okay, this is the hot linking thing that I was talking about, right? What this does, if I go and I find it, let's see, ref set employee, blah, 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 remove. Here we go, this guy. What this does is it says, all right, from the employee table on the assignment records, select for me, if we come into here, select for me all of the related project employee assignments. Give me the IDs where, zoom in a little bit for you, where this project link is not in the employee assigned projects. Okay, some high level things that I've got going on here, right? So it's obviously an advanced version of a select statement. With a select statement, you can either use a table or you can use any list of references. Sometimes this doesn't work, but it works for, specifically, I know it works because I'm doing it here. It works for these related whatever lists, right? Okay, so you just start off a select and then you enter in the related list that you want. The key is that you have the list dereference part has to be the ID column, right? So when you do this, what's happening here is the system is doing a select statement, but it's only doing a select statement on the related records inside the list for the record, right? So I'm looking at project X, or I'm sorry, employee. I'm looking at employee Matt, and I've got a list of records that maybe there's only 5 over there. This select statement only runs over these 5 records. It doesn't go to the whole table that maybe has 10,000 records. It only runs on the 5 that I have here. You can see the benefit of doing something like this, right? Massive improvements in performance. But it's new. It's relatively new, so it does, whether it works all the time, yeah. But when you get it to work, it's magic. So that's what this is doing. It's saying, out of the employee project assignment records, right? Give me only the ones where the project is not inside the employee's assigned projects, because the whole idea is we've removed something, right? And so I've removed something from the employee's list, but the join records still, the join record for the thing that I removed is still there, right? So that's where I can do this select statement on the record and say, cool, give me all of these records where the project inside the record is not inside that list, because those are the ones that we need to delete. All right. That's what this does. and it runs this set join temp var remove. Okay, why am I doing something like this? The whole point of this, right? Two sides to the reference. I've changed one side. I'm now telling the system, you need to update this side. That's what this set temp var remove is doing. I'm hot linking these join records into a slice so that I can process them. So if I go and I show you this set join temp var remove, it's on the join record table. Sorry, let me find it. It's up here. Yeah, here we go. It's on the join records, right? And so it's this set, and I have a column in here that I called temp var. If you're using the standard starting template, this would be form type or automation trigger. Either of those work. This is what form type is for. And we're setting that to remove for the assignment record, the join records, right? So then I go to my slice. You can see I have a single slice inside here where I'm holding those assignment records that need to be removed. Okay. So if I went into the employee record and there was 5 things and I removed all 5 of those join records are now being held inside this slice. Okay. The reason is because then after I get those records inside that slice, let me get back to, here we go. After I get those records inside the slice, I can then say, cool, for all of those join records, update the parent on the other side to remove the employee. So if we go and we look at this ref update join record parents, right? So that's ref update join records parents, the employees. So what is this doing? This is saying from the employee side of stuff, I want you to run over to the project table, and for all of the removing joins projects, run this set physical assignments to virtual assignments. Okay, so what is this set physical assignments to virtual assignments doing? Okay, well, this lives on the project table. So if we go to the projects and we look at this, here it is, set physical assignments to virtual assignments. So it's literally setting the physical column to this virtual column. But the key here is it's also taking into consideration the removal of the joins, right? So it's saying set the project assigned employees, because we were modifying the employee side of things, and now we need to update the project side of things, right? So on the project's assigned employee list, right, set that to whatever is inside the created employees from assignments list. So that is the list of the employees from the join records, right? Set that to whatever's in those join records minus the removing records employee list. So this is how I'm able to say, I've flagged those records and I've put them over there in that slice. Now remove those from that list, those over there. That's what this thing is doing here. And so all together, if I come back up here to my stack, so when I do this, when I set all of the records that I need to update and put them in that slice, then I run this update on all of those records, which then says, cool, go to the opposite side of the reference, and for all of those records, modify it. Modify their list of assigned whatevers, right? Taking into consideration the stuff that I just removed. Once I've done that, I can then finally delete those things out of the system. Right? A lot going on in order to just delete the records. But that's the idea behind how this works, and this setup works. It's like there's a duplicate on the other side of the reference. So I have employees and I have projects. So everything that I just went over that works on the employee side, the same thing happens on the project side too. If I go to a project and I remove some employees, it does the same thing. It flags the things, puts them over there, does the whatever, and deletes them and gets rid of them, and we're good. So that is the join table method. Yeah, I know it doesn't seem very straightforward, but like the purpose behind all of the linking and everything like that is we just want to update the records that need to be updated. You get me? That's what we're doing. Get your copy of it. It's on my profile. A link in the description after the stream. All right, and that's all I got in this video. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. If you like what I do here, maybe you'll consider subscribing and doing the notification bell and all that stuff. I upload weekly content on how to be a ninja with the AppSheet platform. I do a live stream every Friday, and I upload videos like this every Tuesday. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. See you in the community.